Hello, this is Deb Joyce Meek from Delight of My Art, and welcome to Mystery Stamping. It is Wednesday, and we are gathering here to do our mystery stamping. It looks like there is an error on the Facebook side that it is not connecting. So it says this is usually temporary. We will try to keep connecting there. Excuse me, but otherwise we will. I think we're live on YouTube. So if you can't see me, um, well, then you can't comment and say you can't see me. If you can see me, let me know. Looks like we're having issues on the Facebook side. So again, if you can see me on YouTube, let me know in the comments here. We're going to go ahead and try again to connect to Facebook, but I was getting an error message through. Yeah, I don't think that it's working on Facebook. So we'll link it afterwards. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time doing mystery stamping with me, we do it every week on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I give you the cutting directions sometime on Monday. You can either get those in our Facebook group called Stamp with Delight, or you can get them emailed to you if you're on my email list. Make sure that you're on my email list. You can join in the link in the description here. It's just email.orderwithdeb.com. All right, let's go ahead and hopefully we can get everything going. Looks like oh, Sharon can see me. Thank you, Sharon, for letting me know. Okay, let's go ahead and get down to the desktop. We'll get started here. Here's our directions. I did have a few corrections. However, you don't have to recut anything. We're cutting something down a little bit further. The card base, instead of being 5 inches, is supposed to be 4 3/4 by 9 3/4. And we need one extra piece that you can cut from. So all of the whole base and same as base pieces can be cut from one sheet of cardstock. One leftover piece you can cut down to 2.5 by 2.5. So we'll be doing that in a little bit. And I'll also all of the dimensions and I'll have them on the screen as well. So here is our first piece. I'm going to put this in the bottom here so you can see exactly what we're doing together. So this piece is 4 3/4, not 5 like the directions say. So the my sheet was wrong, but the dimensions in the video description now is correct. So we have this at 9 3/4 by 4 3/4. And we're going to put it in on the long side at 4 1/4 and score that. And then you're just going to rotate it so that you're on the short side, and you're just going to score it 1/4 inch in on both of those sides. So we're going to do 1/4 inch here, score, and then 1/4 inch on the opposite side. Now you will have a fold here. So you'll be left with one shorter side and one longer side. On the side that is longer, you're going to cut off those skinny strips. So go ahead and put that back in your trimmer and leave the short ones on. We want to cut off the longer ones. So I'm just going to stick that back in my track and put my cutting blade right on that fold line and then cut along that long edge, and that's the easiest way to get that nice and straight and have that tab be off of there. I'll trim this with my scissors in a little bit, but let's go ahead and do the other side while we have this trimmer out. So I'm going to put that in with the 1/4 inch over there. It's lined up with that score line we already did. I'm going to take my cutting blade and line that up again with that score mark that we did before and cut along the long side. So now I have the long sides cut off, and we can just take our snips and we can angle cut that. Actually, these are going to be tabs, so we can angle cut these. Just like this. I'm going to keep my trimmer out because we're still going to need it. So I'm going to get rid of my trash here, and we'll put this piece to one side. Let's get out, same as base, right here. This one's going to be 7.5 by 3.5. So putting it in on the long side here, we're going to score it at 3 inches. like that. And then we can put this piece to one side. So again, that's 7.5 by 3.5, scored at 3 inches. And then we do have one more piece. This is the piece that I missed in the description here. This is just a 2.5 inch square. Here we go, right here. 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. We're gonna score at 3/8 of an inch from either end. So it doesn't really matter since it's a square. So just stick it in at 3/8 of an inch right there. And then on the other side, turn it 180 degrees, 3/8 of an inch right there. Okay, so we should be able to hide that now. Oh, greetings from the Netherlands. Thanks for saying hello, Marjan. Marjan, how do you say your name? Marjan or Marjan? I am Dutch, but I don't actually know how to pronounce your name. So sorry if I'm butchering it. Okay, let's go ahead and burnish on all of these folds. Hello to everyone else that's popping in live. I appreciate you. It's always exciting when I see people from other countries. That's really neat. Okay, so we have this little piece here. This is going to be our mechanism, marjan. Okay, here's that piece. We're going to go ahead and fold this piece too. Thank you for correcting me. All right, so here was piece number 2, number 3, and we'll go ahead and take out our first piece here with the tabs. Let's go ahead and fold on all of our little score lines here. This one's going to be a fun one. I think you're going to enjoy it. So all of these are going up, by the way. So all of these are going towards the same direction. These are tiny tabs. So, and I'll explain why I made them so small in a little bit. All right, so this part with the flap is going to be on the top like this. This piece is going to have the shorter side on the top with the fold on top here. And now we have our little mechanism. Very interesting, Vesta says. Yes, are you intrigued yet? All right, so DSP number 1 is 4 inches wide by 4 inches tall. And so we're going to pull that piece out. Let's see, what did I choose for that one? We are using the, where'd my little notes go? They're a little bit festive DSP. So this has fun patterns in it, plus those pieces that pop out. And I did actually use a bunch of pieces like that for this card because we wanted some pieces to decorate on here too. And those are just so easy. Okay, so I've got a piece here. DSP number 1 was 4 by 4, and then also 4 by 1.25. So I got another piece here that can go underneath. So with this flap here, this shorter piece is going to go right there, and the bigger piece is going to go on the upper flap, just like that. So let's go ahead and add that on. We were supposed to get snow today, but I still don't see any snow on the ground. We were supposed to get, I think, 4 inches, but I see nothing so far. I'm just hoping I don't have snow next week for my in-person class. I like it to snow, be real pretty on the trees, and then melt the next day so I don't have to drive in it. All right, here is our pieces for DSP number 1. Let's go ahead and move on to DSP number 2, 3.25 wide. I've got 2 of these, 3.25 wide by 2 3/4 tall, and 3.25 wide by 4.25 tall. So these 2 pieces are going to go on this little flap here. So the little one on there, and then the bigger one on the inside piece here. So we can go ahead and add those as well. Just like that. Okay, and now DSP number 3 is the same size as this piece on the top here. This one is 3¼ wide by 2¾ inches tall, and we're gonna put that on the inside upper flap of this little piece. This piece over here doesn't get any designer series paper. It's okay, it's gonna be hidden. It's a mechanism. Mechanism. Ooh, what are we gonna make it do? Ooh, you will find out. Okay, so now we have everything kind of put together. Still have all my decorating pieces off to the side, but now we can start to put together what this card is going to look like. So I'm going to take out my tear and tape. This is going to be the easiest way and the cleanest way to not get your hands all gooey and everything. So first we're going to do this little mechanism. You see we made a little table. You're going to put tear and tape on the same side on both of these pieces. Don't take the backing off of both of them yet. We'll just do one at a time. So we'll do this one and this one. There we go. Give that a press with my bone folder, and we'll take off one side. All right, so here is where we're going to turn that over. So the sticky part is on the bottom. It's still doing this little tabletop thing. Let's see, how do I, yes. And the edge here, right here, is going to go against the top edge here so that this fold, our fold right here, is coming down this way, and it's going to stick on the edge of this thing like this. Okay, so I'm going to open this back up. So I've got my open edge right there, and I'm going to line that up and center it between the left and the right here. We can just kind of make it flat so I can see it a little bit better. It's sticky side down right now, up against that edge, right like this. I did this wrong like 4 times in a row, so I'm going slow on purpose because this was confusing to me even when I was watching other videos on how to do this. So that's how it's going, and you can fold it up and it looks like this. Okay, so we do want this to fold up. We do not want it to be down here if we want it to be up, because this is where the tape is. So now we can open this piece up and stick this piece inside. You'll find that edge that we just did, and we'll center our piece that we just put in there between our designer series paper here. We want this top edge that we're going to fold down to meet up with this folded edge right here. So we've got this piece here folded up. Our top piece here is going to meet that edge right there. And that's where we want to take this tear and tape off, and then we're going to close this on top here. So we do want to make sure that our piece is centered left to right here. We want to make sure that when we close this, the edge, the top edge here lines up with this piece that's folded. And then we can take off that tear and tape. So I think I'm ready. We'll take this piece off right here and then close this without moving anything. Everything should be good. Vesta says, thanks for going slow. I know I needed this to be slower than what I've seen already. Okay, so here's where we are. So it's all loosey-goosey right now, but that's okay. We can see everything that's going on in here. So we have this piece that's kind of flappy. It is connected by that little table right there. Boop, 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 right there. And then we have our side flaps right here. So this is where we are going to just push this in so that it lays flat like this. And then we're going to add tear and tape to these 2 edges, and then we'll close this on top of it. Okay? You excited? This one's fun. I haven't actually done one of these before. Now, these 1/4 inch pieces are a little bit thin, and the reason that I did them thin is because if they get too thick, they get in the way of this moving. But the tear and tape is exactly the same width as this. So I'm going to put this so that it is on the flap here, but more towards the open side so that I can just fold it up. Because if it sticks off the side of the card, you can feel it when you close the card. So we're gonna try this and try to do our best. All right, so we're gonna put it on here a little bit away from that folded edge. I know I'm going towards the center here. Hopefully I'm not gluing things I don't want to glue. Let's see how this is going. All right. So you can see I've got a thin little border of brown right up here. And it's going over the edge just a little bit. So when I pull that tape off, we're just gonna push that sticky back on the top there. Okay. Vesta says, oh, you know what I'm doing now, huh? So here we go on the other side. Just like this. Okay, so we can put this off to the side. Now we can take off our tear and tape. Yes, Vesta probably guessed it. This is called, as far as I could find, a popping flap card, and it's so cool. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. Hopefully you guys like it. Okay, so I took the tape off and now you can see it's kind of like got a little bit of glue here. So we're just gonna push that back and it just folds. It's real easy. It just folds back on itself. So that's gonna be easier than folding it from this edge because it's all hidden in there anyway. All right, we're just gonna fold that back on itself a little bit before we put it together. Now you could make the edges a little bit wider, but I just didn't want it to get in the way of the mechanism. Okay, so now we have this. We've got our flaps. They're all glued and pushed right. So now we can close this side on top of everything because we don't want to move this side. It's got a lot going on. So we'll just close this side and give those sides a press. Okay, now the big reveal. And turn it over. And we've got this card going on. So the mechanism, how it works is you have this tab thing here and you pull the whole thing out and this part flaps open. Isn't that cool? It's so neat. So it does actually lay all the way flat when it's open if you do it this way. And so what's going on in there is that piece that we made, the mechanism, does kind of a weird bending thing. So we're bending that cardstock. It's doing, but you can't see it. So it does do that. And now our edges are not in the way. And now we can just decorate it. Okay, so here we go. So I have a big circle here from our stylish shapes. I'm going to stick that on the front and I'm going to decorate with the die cuts from this same paper pack. I think that's really cute. We have a little piece of white for the inside. That's your neutral piece, 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. And that's going to go on our inside piece. And then you can decorate that inside top flap too. So let's go ahead and start gluing on some pieces. Glue on my circle. I'm going to get out my dimensionals. You don't want to add dimensionals to the inside because of how many things are going on in here. We'll keep all dimensions on the front. But this was a fun one to do. What do you guys think? I've got 2 more alternatives to show you after we put this one together. And you'll have to vote on your favorite one. And let me know. I've got yeah, 2 more. So we've got 1 more Christmas one and then just a regular hello card. Okay, so here's our 2 pieces. We got to open this back up again. So we're going to pull this. If you're mailing this, you would probably want to put a sticky note or put a little note on here that says pull, because if you're sending this to somebody, they're going to rip it trying to get it open. So you definitely want to either hand it in person and go, this is how you open it. And they're going to go, oh my goodness. Or put a little note on here that says pull. So now we can decorate this piece. When this goes in the center, you definitely want to make sure that it is centered here and not at the bottom right here. Once we push this in, this bottom lip actually does show. So you don't want to have this be too low or when you push it in, it'll be showing. So you definitely want to have that. I think that's the measurement is good where you can have it be even border right here. It's just the tiniest bit longer right here. So let's go ahead and add that. I was using the Christmas labels stamp set for this one. Great greetings in there. And then we'll just add this to the top side here. Kind of mimics the pine cones up here. Again, flat. We don't want to add any extra dimension on the inside here. Merry Christmas to you. Okay, and now we just need to add our embellishments. So let's push this back in. It goes in pretty easy. And we're going to add some of these iridescent adhesive backed discs because there's a good red one here. I was checking to see if our pearl and real red berries were back in stock yet, and they're not quite. So I think they're coming back though. So stay tuned for those. I really wanted to use those, but we'll just use, I think I want to make all of these cute little berries on this piece be iridescently red. I think that will be fun. So we'll just add a few more. Should have my take your pick tool. If you're watching this live, by the way, today is a free shipping day. It's the last day of a 3-day free shipping sale. I don't think we've ever had a 3-day one before. That was really nice to kind of get my ducks in a row and see if I need any extra cardstock or envelopes or adhesives and everything. So last chance for free shipping on orders over $75 at orderwithdeb.com. Here's our sequins on there. And whoops, throwing things. And then I'll show you my alternative cards. So there's card number 1. Here is card number 2. This one's using the layering leaves, which is one of my favorite stamp sets because it matches our bow punch. And then we've got the frames and flowers DSP. So this is the other paper pack that we have that has all of these little cutouts that just kind of fall out of the paper. And then we can open it. Sending hugs. I thought that was so sweet. So all of that is again from that Frames and Flowers DSP, and then I put the adhesive backed sequins trio because it had the pretty peacock sequins there. And then here is number 3, Very Merry. This one is from Reindeer Days Memories and More card pack plus the DSP. So I used the DSP in the background everywhere where I said to use DSP, and I decorated with the pieces from the card pack actually. So I'll show you how this works. And then I used the iridescent faceted gems. Oh my goodness, I love those. Look how pretty they are in there. Down here too. And then I'll pull this piece and we've got a warm wishes on the inside. Very Merry Warm Wishes. So how I did this was I just cut this piece out of the card and the Very Merry out of this card. So I just did some fussy cutting on there to decorate my pieces. Vesta says card number 2 is her favorite. And let's see. Marjan says if you make a small loop, people will understand that they can pull on it. That is a clever idea. And if you did that, I would probably put a loop, maybe a little ribbon loop here before you put this DSP on for this piece. That would be a clever idea. Thank you, Marjan. So you put a little tiny loop here and then put your DSP on top of it to kind of secure that down. Clever idea. If you put it on the back, however you secured, that might show, but it is on the back, so that would work too. All right, let me know which one is your favorite, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got all 3 of those, and I'll share these in our Facebook group, Stamp with Delight, tomorrow. I'll share the link to the video tomorrow or today because it's Facebook is being silly, so it's not working at the moment. But Sharon, you said you did yours wrong. It won't open. So this piece doesn't open, but this piece should pull out. So again, you have your little mechanism. You might have to go back and watch the replay. I had to play around with mine too. That's why I did the directions pretty slow, but I understand if you're crafting along too, it's a little hard to go follow along. So if you watch the replay, you can pause at any time. That's the the benefit of watching a replay. All right, does anybody hopefully that worked for most of you. Let's go ahead and put my face back in here. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great day, guys.